Ask me about Bitcoin. And when you do, I'll tell you about Satoshis. What's up, guys? It is Saturday, February 17th, 2024. On a side note, this is Michael Jordan's birthday today. One of my absolute heroes. Happy birthday, Mr. Jordan. I know you watch all my videos. That is today's Bitcoin block height. That is the Bitcoin price as of this recording. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how many Satoshis you can get for $1. As you can read from the title, how and why you should measure your wealth in Satoshis. The first thing I'm going to talk about is how to do it. All right. You guys been looking forward to this? You guys been on my channel hitting the refresh button? I almost didn't make this video today. But anyways, what I want you to do is wherever you have your Bitcoin, right? Whether it's on Cash App, on Swan, on Coinbase, whether it's in your Moon wallet, your Phoenix wallet, maybe it's on Ledger Live, maybe it's on Trezor, maybe it's on your Sparrow wallet, maybe it's on your Blockstream Jade, whatever indice you have your Bitcoin on, whether it's a hot wallet, a cold wallet, or an exchange, which I highly suggest you don't do that. What I want you to do is go to the settings where you have it measured in either dollars or Bitcoin, because it'll show you what it's, you know, if you got 50 bucks in there, it'll say 50 bucks, or it might say 0.008, whatever Bitcoin you have in there. What I want you to do is change it to Satoshis. Do that right now while we're talking. All right. Now, remember, if you measure it in Bitcoin, there's a decimal and then there's 8 numbers behind it, right? Don't look at it like that, because it seems like you only have a fraction of something and it's just barely nothing and it's meaningless. That is not true. And this is why I'm making these videos. So do that for me right now. Go over there and change it to Satoshis. Now, look a little different now? Absolutely. So if you only had, let's say you had 1% of a Bitcoin or something like that. Or let's say you had 0.00 whatever a Bitcoin. Once you change to Satoshis, then you'll see how many thousands of Satoshis you have, right? Looks a little different now, right? That's the first thing. The second thing I want you to do, now this is the hard part, because you have to have some faith, you got to have some belief, and you got to study Bitcoin to understand what it is. And also, I'm doing this, and I'm saying to do this next step because we measure everything in dollars, and we're so used to seeing something being priced in dollars. So follow me here. Look at those Satoshis that you have, those thousands of them you have, because you have thousands of them. And look at those like they were US dollars. Now, again, I know that's a hard pill to swallow. Now, let's go back to when we talked about how many Satoshis you can get for $1. Look how many Satoshis you could get for a measly 1 cuck buck. Look at that, right? Now, this is how many you can get for 10 bucks. Look how many you can get for 100 bucks. You want to get 1,000,000 Satoshis? This is how much it's going to cost you today, which, by the way, it's more than what it was last week. Now, it goes up and down, of course, in a much, much harder money. So just look at it as US dollars, okay? Now, on a side note, I don't know where you guys buy your Bitcoin from. You can buy it wherever you want. But if you want $10 of free Bitcoin, you can click the link down below. It's Swan Bitcoin. It's my affiliate link. And again, you don't have to do this, but they'll give you $10 for starting an account. I have tried different exchanges. I like Swan Bitcoin because they're Bitcoin only. I've done Cash App. I've done a few others, but I like Swan because they're very, very thorough. And they will give you $10 for signing up. And again, just for signing up, that's how many Satoshis or quote unquote dollars you'll get, because you're going to look at Satoshis like dollars just for signing up. And I do a daily buy. You can do weekly buys and stuff like that. But I believe the minimum you have to buy 10 bucks. So you want to get that many thousand Satoshis, go ahead and click the link down below. But again, you can go wherever you want. Now here's step 3 for you to understand how powerful Satoshis are. Now that you switched your your Bitcoin exchange or wherever you have the Satoshis. And now that you're looking at them like US dollars, now what I want you to do is price everything in your life in Satoshis. For instance, how much is your mortgage or rent? How much is your car note? How much is your insurance? How much is your grocery bills? Your haircut? Things that you pay for, your food when you eat out. Now there's two reasons I'm telling you to do that. Basic reasons, but there's more. The first reason is I want you to start looking at everything in Satoshis. That way you're really seeing what you're paying, because it's very easy to get caught up in, oh, it's only $6 or it's only $7. Oh, that's only $12. My haircut right now cost me $50, right? It cost me $40 to get my hair cut and done, and then I tip him $10. What I did was I asked my barber I asked him, does he accept Bitcoin? And I've been teaching him about it. So what I do is now I tip him $10 in Bitcoin and I pay him $40 in cash, which is cool. The thing about it is that $10 that I'm giving him less sats, because those $10, I'm getting less and less sats for them. So it's costing me less when I tip him, which is cool. The second reason I want you to do it, just like what I said, is you will figure out what things are really worth to you in the future. When you pay for things in Satoshis and you literally take Satoshis as the denominator of everything and measure everything in Satoshis, even when you go to TradingView or anything like that, measure everything and how much it costs, instead of saying my Bitcoin, quote unquote, costs this many dollars. See how many dollars it costs for Satoshis or Bitcoin. You're getting ready for the future, because every time you pay for something, it's going to cost you something. It's an opportunity cost. So the second reason you want to do it for is because you want to see the opportunity cost it's going to cost you and how many Satoshis it's going to cost you to buy those things. Now, again, I'm not telling you not to spend your sats. We want a circular economy, and I'll get into that in further future Satoshi videos. But when you figure out that $10 or $20 is this many Satoshis, you're just like, wow, I don't even know if I want to spend it. The trick I play on myself is if I think I really, really want something or need something, I figure really quick that it's just a want, not a need. So I'll play a trick on myself. Those US dollars that I don't spend, or those Satoshis that I'm foregoing if I do spend those US dollars, if I don't spend them, then I come home or right there on my phone, I immediately take those cuck bucks, and instead of spending it on that thing I was going to do, which was just a want and not a need, it was just an emotional buy for a good or service that wasn't necessary at the moment, I reward myself with thousands of Satoshis on my Swan account. So that's the second reason why you want to do that. Here's another reason for the future. You guys already know that Bitcoin is denominated in Satoshis, and you know that Bitcoin's price in US dollars is going up. So it's costing more dollars to get the same amount of Satoshis, which means what? The power of your Satoshis, when you denominate it in dollars, the purchasing power is going up.
The point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever, Laura. Forever.
Right.
You're going to get more Satoshis in the future and more Satoshis today than you're going to get in the future. That's a why and a how. You're foregoing pleasures today for a better future tomorrow. Now, those are some basic hows. Now, here's your why, like I said before. Satoshis, whether you know this or not, and you have to put in the work to study this, this is generational wealth, ladies and gentlemen. These Satoshis. You are foregoing, again, your future if you spend and frivolously spend your US dollars that you could have turned into Satoshis today. So it makes you and it helps you think long term. Because remember, you got to look at those Satoshis that you have on your exchange or wherever you have them. Just look at them as US dollars. Because I believe one day they'll be, the purchasing power is going to go up. Okay, let's just say that. Most of you guys are men on this channel that have watched my video, or some of you are women, young ladies, and that's all fine and dandy. But if you're watching my channel and you're stacking Satoshis, you're in the process of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. When the internet happened, when it was coming up in the 80s and then it started going up in the 90s and the 2000s, that's all over with now. There's no opportunity to make some money on the internet because now you don't have all these crazy nerds meeting up in rooms and stuff like that. Same with Amazon. I compare the internet and Amazon to Bitcoin because those are the only two things you can kind of compare them to be honest, that people understand. But the real comparison I like to do is land, like New York City. Imagine back in the 1700s when they were giving out land and giving out little plots of land. Now, yeah, you can build on top of them, but you can't make any more of it, right? And that's what's going to happen with Bitcoin. They're going to build on top of Bitcoin. There's going to be so many business opportunities on top of it. And there's all kind of things going on in New York City. You can buy a storefront, you can buy this or that, just like you can buy a layer 2 or layer 3 business on top of the Bitcoin. But the one thing that you cannot buy anymore for cheap is land on New York City soil. You just can't do it. It is such pristine land, and so many people want to live there despite the cost, despite all the BS going on there. There are millions of people piled up there, people doing business there, because there's nothing like it on the planet. And there's other land and stuff, just like there's other cryptocurrencies, but there's nothing like New York City. It's just not. And that's what I like to compare Bitcoin to. Every Satoshi you're buying blocks or areas or feet or meters of land in New York City. I know we talk about the internet and Amazon, and those are fair comparisons too, but it's just not the same. It's just so finite, Bitcoin is. And those Satoshis that are broken up into those Bitcoin, I'm telling you, man, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for generational wealth for your family, your legacy, and everything else. Nobody in your family is going to be able to get these Satoshis at the same price that you're going to get them, because Bitcoin's technology is built to be deflationary and the purchasing power of that to go up. You remember last week's video? I believe it was 92 or 93 million Satoshis that guy had on his wallet for $27 and something cents of US dollars. Do you know how much those same Satoshis, those 93 million Satoshis would cost you today? That's 93% of a Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now, as of this recording, is, whatever it is, 51 and a half, 52, whatever it is. 93% of that is like 40 something thousand US dollars. Back then, it only cost you 20 something bucks. Now, let me ask you this. That was 11 years ago. In 2013, it's 2024. What do you think 93 million Satoshis will cost you in 2035? What do you think in US dollar terms? Because two things we know for sure. We don't have to guess it. We know it for sure. One thing is the US dollars are going to be printed more and more and more, right? Which means they're going to be debased more and more and more, because the more there is of something, the less it's worth. That's number one. Number two, what else we know for a fact is we know Bitcoin's issuance to the T. We know about every 10 minutes, there's going to be 6.25 Bitcoin mined until April. Then it's going to be cut in half to 3.125 for that next cycle. And then that cycle after that, it's going to be 1.56 something Bitcoin. Then after that, it's going to be less than 1 Bitcoin. And what's that going to do for the price? You think the price is going to go up or down? You tell me. I'm not a mathematician here. We know that for a fact. That is why in 2011, you can get so many Satoshis for the small little price it is. And we also know that these ETFs are gobbling up Bitcoin like it's nobody's business. We all know that. And they're buying at a record pace. This is not including all the new nations and everything else that's going to be getting involved in this. And more people, hodlers, people that are understanding and studying it, because it takes work to understand this generational wealth. So do me a favor, guys. Study Bitcoin and take advantage of these absolutely, and it sounds strange for me to say this now, comparing it to what it was in 2013, but take advantage of these absolutely ridiculous prices you can get thousands of Satoshis for a couple of bucks. Your great grandkids are not gonna believe that. That's why I always take a picture every time I buy stuff. And when I go back and look at those old videos or those old documentaries, I just can't believe the Satoshis they got. That's why I take a picture of it every time I buy Satoshis, because I want people to know this is what I used to pay. And that was a purchasing power in comparison to the dollar. But one day, you will be purchasing things in Satoshis. I know that sounds crazy. Do not let this opportunity pass you, okay? Study Bitcoin, learn it as much as you can, and change the direction of your family's life forever. So do me a favor, guys. After you do your studying and you put in the work, stack those Satoshis as hard as you can, up to the level that you're at now. And stack them for your generations to come and your future and your lineage. Because your great-grandkids, your grandkids, your kids will never be able to get these prices that you're getting today. Don't let them down. Because we will be buying things in Satoshis tomorrow. We will. So do you and your family a favor and stack as many Satoshis as you can today, so you don't have to work for those same Satoshis tomorrow. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.